Hello, Emmanuel Shachaf.
Hello, hello.
Identity, the quest for a better future for Israel. If you would emphasize the headline of this interview, in Israel, 1 year after October 7th war.
The chaos continues. That's what's happening.
No end game.
No end game in sight. No new order, no nothing.
But people are talking about the new order after what happened in Beirut, the Hezbollah head that was decapitated. What do you think is really happening?
Hezbollah is obviously reorganizing. They made an attempt at offering us an agreement, a ceasefire agreement, which we refused to accept. And now they're reorganizing and continuing to shoot at us with the missiles they have left, which is apparently a not inconsiderable amount.
Even when you were on your way towards these studios, there was another missile attack to the center of Israel.
There was an alarm. I was just about to leave my house in Netanya, and there was another alarm. Which fortunately, nothing came. But
what did you feel? Is it something that you can get used to?
No, I don't think it's something. I don't think it's something we should get used to. I think it's possible to live with it, and we're living with it. It's a fact that for the last several days there have been hundreds of launches every day. Okay, and people in the north are living with it, and people in the south are living in it, and people in the south have been living it for a long time before. But it's not something we should be living with. It's just crazy.
Do you think that what is happening with Tehran is something that Israel can really attack the nuclear sites?
I think it's possible that Israel attacks the nuclear sites and can cause damage. It can't make sure that there won't be a future nuclear program. That's why it's so questionable whether it's worthwhile to do it at all. Of course, America is very much against Israel attacking the nuclear program, the Iranian nuclear program. I'm not sure that's enough for Netanyahu not to do it, but we have to see.
Do you think Israel might attack alone the nuclear sites of Iran, even if there is any provision by the United States?
I think that would be a big mistake.
Why?
But I think it would be a big mistake because we can't make sure that the attack succeeds. Okay, the Iranian nuclear program is so widely spread over Iran and so well protected that it will be very difficult to assure by an attack by Israel alone that the nuclear program will be degraded enough to make a big difference.
Do you think that technically, according to foreign press outside of Israel, is it feasible?
It's feasible that we cause damage. I don't think it's feasible that we destroy the Iranian nuclear program.
And is it destroyable at all, or it can be rebuilt within the coming decade or two?
I think with America together, it would possibly be possible to destroy the program completely, but even that will not avoid it being rebuilt in the future. And one thing must be clear: if anybody attacks the Iranian nuclear program, that will definitely drive the Iranians over the hill, over the top. They will definitely want to have a nuclear program. Right now, they haven't decided yet whether they want a nuclear weapon. They're a state which is about to go over the edge, but it's not clear that they have a weapon or are going to build a weapon.
So basically, you're saying that even trying to attack the nuclear sites, that will obviously make them want even much harder to create the first bomb.
Absolutely. A nuclear weapon for them is a security guarantee for the regime.
And what is going to be the counterattack of the Iranian?
I think they'll probably throw at us more rockets and missiles and I don't know what else. Okay, we always have to assume that, like we have some surprises in stock for our enemies, our enemy also has some surprises.
What about the Hezbollah? Do you think that Hezbollah are heading towards a total loss?
No, Hezbollah is not. Hezbollah has been degraded, but I don't think it's close to total loss. They're obviously getting reorganized, and if we don't come to an agreement with them soon, we'll end up in a war of attrition with them, and they have a lot of missiles, a lot of rockets, so it'll take a long time.
What kind of agreement would you visualize that is doable right now for the Israeli government?
An agreement based similar to the 1701 agreement from 1986, which would push Hezbollah over the river, either the Litani or the Zaharani, probably better the Zaharani, but this time one which will be properly applied. The 1701 was not. Okay, there was agreement in writing, and on the ground, Hezbollah was not pushed over where it was supposed to be.
Do you think that Israel can negotiate the possibility to attack Tehran as part of the negotiation towards the end game and the new agreement?
I think that would be a good idea. I think to use the attack before it happened in order to get better agreement with Hezbollah, I think is an idea which should be applied.
How would you structure this kind of deal? What would be the offer?
The offer would be to refrain from attacking in return for a proper deal with Hezbollah, which would be guaranteed by Iran.
And what about the hostages?
The hostages that should be brought into the agreement to the extent that's possible. There is an alternative plan to an alternative agreement with Hamas to settle the hostage issue, which is being neglected right now by the government of Israel.
Do you think that there is a feasibility that they are going to be returning to Israel alive, a few of them at least?
Not the way it looks now. Not the way it looks now, because the government of Israel is not interested in closing an agreement with Hezbollah and not in closing an agreement with Hamas.
Why?
Because apparently it suits politically the Prime Minister Netanyahu to continue the struggle, to continue the fight. He gains politically from having the war going on. He will definitely go to elections only in 2026.
Israeli people want blood, want revenge, want...
They're using that feeling that we have feelings of revenge, and that mainly the fact that there's no alternative being presented by anybody, not the opposition, not from the outside. There's nothing on the agenda other than war right now.
And do you think that this kind of agreement will come before Israel and the other sides are underneath financially, or before that?
I think this will. What will lead to the agreement is the fact that we are financially going to be in big trouble. I think this what will bring about an agreement in the end is the economic disaster which is waiting for us.
Disaster.
Yeah, I think it's a disaster. If you look at the size of money involved, I think it's a disaster, and that will bring us down to our knees to make an agreement.
Do you think would you visualize any kind of timetable of this economic disaster?
I think it'll happen within the next year. So it can be earlier, it can be later. It depends also on things which are happening in the world. So it depends on the fallout from our attack of Iran, if we attack. There's so many unknowns involved. That's part of the chaos, the fact that we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen.
And if people will tell you, hey, Israel has no other possibility, the same way that the United States at the end of World War II attacked Japan with atomic bomb, there is no possibility to leave them with any pride, with anything, just have it over. What would you answer them?
It's definitely not true.
Why?
Okay. Well, first of all, if we would have attempted it, okay, you could say we tried this, we tried that, we tried that. We didn't. Okay, we didn't. We're on a war path, and nobody's going to tell us now to get off that war path. And we feel that we're winning, and because we're winning, let's continue to win until our enemy is on his knees. like we did with Hamas. That didn't prevent us from continuing the war nevertheless. Okay, so we are on the warpath, and until somebody stops us, either the economy or the U.S.
or the election,
or the election in the U.S. or the election in Israel, we're going to continue. Sorry to say.
So you're not visualizing, as you began, you're seeing a chaos that continues. You're not seeing any structure, any strategy that leads.
Not for the time being. The chaos is going to continue.
Unless the chaos is part of the strategy. Vague strategy that no one really knows what Israel wants.
Chaos cannot be part of a strategy. Chaos can be used for a strategy, but it cannot be by itself because you can't control it. There's no way to control the chaos. So it can be used and abused, and it is very likely going to be abused by the Netanyahu government to make changes to Israel's democracy, and so on and so forth. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Any good news towards the end of this report?
The only good news I have for you is that the book is coming together, and I think by the end of the year, I think we should have a book together with my Palestinian partner, Tas Abu Saada, on shared sovereignty.
So the book that you're writing in English with Taysir Abu Saada, a joint venture, is basically offering a new hope to the Middle East.
Yes. A new country, joint country with joint Palestinians and Israelis, and a joint future.
And what about the Israelis that would say, Emanuel Shachaf, what about the Zionist dream?
That's the Zionist dream. It's a version of the Zionist dream, the version we can make happen now, not the one we went on before. One with this version is one of equality, and not the one that we were on until very recently.
Do you deeply believe, as a former chief in the Israeli Mossad, as former fighter in the Israeli Air Forces, that, and you're not a naive person, you have a family here, children, grandchildren, do you really believe it is feasible that people will embrace this idea?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and the situation, the way it's happening, is making it more likely that people will embrace the idea.
Emanuel Shachaf, people that want to be part of this vision of yours, want to have lectures, want to see the videos, how they can contact you?
Contact me on Facebook, Emanuel Shachaf, or the Federation Movement, or Identity: The Quest for Israel's Future.
Emanuel Shachaf, thank you very much.
Thank you.